what was your experience like out here for 5 months?
Rough.
Being homeless.
Sometimes I slept outside in the rain, in the cold. I had random men coming up to me trying to make me a prostitute. I've been offers to go under a bridge and sleep with them for money.
Okay.
We didn't scrap. It was just an argument that turned bad.
Well, how did you end up in jail about it?
Because she called the police and the police took her side.
But was there any, so there must have been like some damage to the walls or something like that. There has to be something.
I'm about to tell you, I was cooking. God came to me and talked to me and made me realize the path I was going on wasn't the path I was supposed to be on.
What path was that?
Of submissiveness.
This moisture that's welling up in your eyes, what is this about?
I mean, it's just, I'm glad I made it out, but it still hurts.
A lot to kind of think about sometimes.
It is like.
Have you like had that moment where you just...
I don't know if I have. Maybe this is the moment.
What's up, YouTube?
So guys, I'm back in the gym with Katie, back on the meal plan with Chef Said, and back in the streets full time.
So it's time to get back to the content.
How's that?
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady with us today. How you doing today, miss?
I'm doing blessed.
I know that's right. I know. It's a beautiful day out here, right?
It is.
You walking with my guy, man. You over here walking with Polo. That's my guy, man, for sure. All right, but Polo, you gotta stay out this interview, all right? Back up, back up. All right, okay, so, all right, so are you homeless?
Not anymore.
Okay, what happened to it that got you out of homelessness? And how long has it been?
I've been not homeless for about a month now.
Okay,
so,
about a month.
But I was homeless for about 5 months.
About 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So what happened 6 months ago that caused you to become homeless in the first place?
To be honest, I went to jail.
Okay.
It made me start over my entire life.
It'll do it, man. People don't realize how one like mistake or one bad decision could really like just ruin everything.
Yeah.
And because, you know, your job, and then you lose to this and you
everything.
So tell me what happened with you. How detail, step by step, like what happened?
How I got to jail?
Well, yeah. How you got to jail?
Well, I got to jail because I got into it with somebody. And so I
a male or a female?
A female.
Okay, what was it about?
Oh man, it was so small and minute. I was cooking and my music was too loud. And they didn't like it, so we ended up getting to it. But I was arguing with her.
Was this a roommate?
Yes.
Okay, so was this like a family member or just?
Kind of something like family, yes.
Okay, so you link up with somebody that you know and love.
Yeah.
Did you know this person from adulthood or from childhood?
From childhood.
Okay, so this is a close person.
Very close.
And so what happens with close relationships is you're close, but then you also have a lot of time to build up different resentments and things like that.
Yeah.
So what was it? What was the meat and potatoes of why y'all really got into it? I understand what the trigger was, is the music or whatever, but what was really going on?
I feel like the meat and potatoes of it was a control thing. She wanted it her way, I wanted it my way. We couldn't meet in the middle.
And so was this an apartment or house or what?
It was a house.
It was a house, and so it was renting, I'm assuming?
It's owned.
By who?
By us. By us.
Is this a cousin or something?
No, I don't want to say who it was.
It's a sister.
I don't want to say who it was.
So this is a sister,
they
okay.
Might see it. We done made up since then, so I don't want to put her
Yeah,
out
like I get it, but this is for the audience to understand.
Very much a very close member of my family.
So it's for the audience so that we can understand how these things happen.
Okay.
So it's not to embarrass anybody or anything like that, but the more detail we get, the more we can relate to it, right? So a family member that you grew up with, we'll just say that.
I'm gonna say it's my aunt.
It's your sister. Okay, so okay. And how many years apart are y'all?
She's older than me. She's my elder.
By how many years?
A lot. I'm only 35. She was in her 50s. Yeah.
Okay.
But we didn't scrap. It was just an argument that turned bad.
Well, how did you end up in jail about it?
Because she called the police and the police took her side.
But was there any, so there must have been like some damage to the walls or something like that. There has to be something.
I'm about to tell you, I was cooking.
Uh-huh.
So when I started to argue with her, I had the knife in my hand. I was cutting cabbage. I keep telling everybody that. But she felt like I was threatening her.
I mean, and I get it, you was cutting cabbage, but we can admit maybe that there was also like, well, it's convenient because I'm cutting cabbage and I'm also
I'm
like,
so I'm raising the knife in the air. She's like, "Are you threatening me with a knife?" So she calls the police, and I said, "Call them because I'm gonna let them know I'm cooking." But they didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
You shouldn't have admitted to holding a knife at all. That's the only way you would have been able to avoid jail.
Right, but I was trying to explain to them I was only holding it because I was in the process of cutting.
Yeah,
they didn't want to hear
you incriminated yourself once you did that.
Therefore, I got simple assault and ended up in jail for
How long?
Quite a bit. Well, I was in there for 30 days at first, and then I ended up violating probation because when I got in jail, I lost my job. So I was unable to pay the probation officer what they wanted, and I lost my car. So all that just got lost in those 30 days.
So, okay, so...
I ended up going back for 60 more days.
Wait.
It was a lot.
So you was in there for 30 days. Who got you out? Or was
I
it
just did
signature
the
bond?
time. I just did the time.
Okay, so signature or okay, so you didn't even have to get bonded out. You did the 30 days that you were sentenced to, and you got out, and your job was gone, and
because I couldn't pay the note.
Okay, they came and picked the car up already.
Yep.
And so, what was you on probation for?
Because once you do 30 days, they still put you on probation. Well, they put me on probation.
Okay, so you wasn't previously on probation.
No. This is my first time getting in any type of trouble with the law. Yeah, it was a lot. I would love for you to share this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ended up having to go back because you had just got on probation for that incident.
And they didn't even give me time to get my life back together before they locked me right back up. And the judge did not want to hear what I had to say.
And this was in Atlanta or DeKalb or what?
Clayton County.
Say less. Okay, now I understand what's going on. This was Clayco. Okay, you got to stay out of Clayco.
Stay out of Clayton County.
Okay, because they lock you up for fun down there.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so you did another 60 days. Jesus Christ. All right, and so
and when I got out,
did you just have 60 days and then you didn't have to get a bond again, or did someone bond you?
No, I did my time. They didn't even give me a bail. When I did the 60 days, they said you get no bail. You're not even good enough. They said you don't meet the requirements of probation, so they made me do. Actually, said 90 days, but they do 2 for 1.
Okay. So
it ended up breaking down to, I guess,
60 more days basically for the 30 days that you had already did, I guess. Okay. So, wow. So, okay. So when you got out of jail, essentially, I guess you was homeless at that point?
Yeah.
So your whoever it was, older sister, wouldn't let you back into...
I was actually, the judge ordered that I couldn't go there.
Wow.
Yeah. And they said, actually, the police officers told my family they couldn't help me. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were looking for me before they put me back.
Right.
Because I had a warrant because I wasn't doing the probation. So they were looking for me and they told my family members not to help me or they would get in trouble too. So therefore I had to be on the streets.
Okay, so I got to break this down because, do you have any kids?
Yeah.
How many?
4?
4?
Yeah.
Who do they live with?
They're with their dads now. During that time, they had to go to their dads.
So they was living with you and then they end up having to live with their dads?
Yeah.
How many dads?
Well, now they're currently still there.
No, I mean, how many? You got 4 kids? How many dads?
Oh, just 2.
2, okay.
Ex-husbands. I was a married woman. Thank you.
Okay, so you was married. I was about to ask
Put
that.
that out there.
Yeah, and scoot over a little bit to stay in the sun. Right here, perfect. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so 4 kids, two dads. Did the marriage produce any of the kids?
Yeah.
How many?
All of my kids were produced by marriage.
Okay, you was married twice?
Yes.
Wow. Because I was sitting there wondering, this girl is gorgeous.
Thank you.
Right? I'm like, how does she not have anybody that she can just kind of lean on in emergencies?
I mean, there was people out here who were willing to help, like this Polo helped
Well,
me.
I don't mean like people like Polo. All right, Polo's, look, so what kind of help you talking about, Polo? Do it now. Don't not do it now. See, you be fake as hell, Polo. You be phony as hell. All right, Polo be fake as hell. He just did a thrusting movement, y'all. He did a thrusting movement, but okay. Okay, now I'm not talking about people you met out here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about so let's break this down.
Well, that's when you learn who your real friends are.
Listen, say that, okay? But okay, so you've been married twice.
Yes.
How long did both marriages last?
Well, my first marriage, I got married at 19. That one lasted 3 years. My second marriage lasted 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so why did these marriages dissolve? Let's start with the first one.
The first marriage, I just feel like we were too young to be honest, and there was a lot of, he was abusive. I would just keep it funky. He was abusive.
Physically abusive?
Yeah, and mentally. So
Okay.
I couldn't deal with that. I had to leave. Second marriage, we just couldn't meet eye to eye. I don't know if people know about this, but this is a real thing. I had a spiritual awakening and it's something he couldn't understand, so we just grew apart.
Now, spiritual awakening, you talking about like you got into crystals and
more so, God
thing?
came to me and talked to me and made me realize the path I was going on wasn't the path I was supposed to be on.
What path was that?
Of submissiveness and cutting, not honoring myself.
So wait, he said that God said he didn't want you to be
He
submissive?
wanted me to honor myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
come over here real quick. We gotta get in the sun. Come over here. Come over here real quick. All right. Hold on, Polo. Hold on. All right, give us a second. Let me step into my office real quick. We just need a little bit of privacy, just a little bit. All right, you come right here. I know. I appreciate you, and I got you. All right. Right here is perfect. Okay. So now let me ask about this, because what was it that? So you were being submissive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what was it about that was wrong, or that was?
I'm not feeling like being submissive is wrong if you're being submissive to someone who's leading you
in the right direction.
Right way. And I'm not saying
Okay.
he wasn't a good leader. I just don't think he was a good leader for me, because
Why?
was shutting down a lot of things that I believed in order to fit his beliefs.
Like what? Give me an example.
Let me see. Let me think of an example. Like,
Yeah, take your time.
it was just
No
like
rush.
certain things that he would do as far as children. Like, remind you, I came in with children.
Mm-hmm.
And
How many?
2.
Okay.
I came in with, I'm sorry, I came in my marriage, my second marriage with 3 kids.
Oh, so you had 3 from the first
Yes,
husband.
and of course, once you get married to someone, they become the stepdad.
Right.
And I didn't like his way of like punishing and things of that. Like, I feel like he was overdoing things when it came to my children. I feel like I'm a protector of my kids before anything.
Well, let me ask you this: are your kids male or female as far as the
2
3
boys,
that came
2
into?
girls.
Okay, so the
3 was
2 boys,
1 girl, 2 boys.
Okay, so 2 boys, 1 girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get how that can be dicey, but I'm gonna ask a real question, right? I mean, could you not figure this out before you got married to him?
No, I mean,
Y'all didn't have that's a
honestly,
real important thing to talk about.
We dated for maybe 3 or 4 years before we got married, and I liked how he treated my children then.
Uh-huh.
But it seemed like once we got our house and got married, things changed. He became kind of like a dictator, and I hate to use the word narcissist, but I have to.
That's
use
a
it.
buzzword.
I know.
And I'm gonna
it's a
push back.
trigger word for
I'm
people.
gonna push back on this.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Because I honestly
I hate to use it because people hate it.
That-
It's
well-
a real word, and it has a definition.
well, you say like dictator.
Yeah.
Honestly, what I hear, he was being a man and trying to
No,
lead his
all men
house.
aren't- and
He's
that's-
being a man and
that's-
trying to lead his
and I
house.
agree with that, and that's why
And
I
you
say
chose him.
I chose him, but he didn't do it in a way that I felt like was pleasing to me.
Give me an example.
I'm trying to tell you.
No. Give me like a hard example of like something that he did, said, or energy that he had
It was
towards
just
the
like
kids that.
whenever, okay, so
What I'm hearing,
he would
just to
walk in
preface
the
this.
house, all joy would leave. When he would walk in the house, all joy would leave. It was
Okay.
almost like Vontae's here. Everybody get on their P's and Q's, but it's almost like why
That
can't
damn
our
thing called
home-
accountability.
Yeah, it's like, but our home.
You didn't get it.
Our home
It went over your
is supposed to
head.
be a place where you are loving and
You
people
get it
should be
peaceful. It should feel like
comfortable.
home.
It shouldn't be a job.
So
This
the
is our
energy,
house.
the
They
energy
already
was
have
bad.
jobs when they go to school.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen. I understand. Now I'm pushing back because I hate to see people do things. They get married and stuff like that. Like one of the things that I held so much pride in with my parents and their marriage was that they stayed married.
Yeah.
And through whatever ups, downs, good, bad, whatever,
So
they
my
stayed
parents-
married.
My parents
And
been married for 43 years, so I saw that. But I also saw a lot of toxic things.
I was
as
about to
grew
say,
up.
and I get that, right? I get that, but I'll say this: my dad just passed. We just had his funeral 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And I saw my mom just be there the whole time.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that type of love, like if you ain't coming to me with that,
Yeah.
go away. You know what I'm saying? As far as marriage goes.
Left.
So, okay, so I ain't gonna press you too much on that, but it irks me a little bit, all right? Because what I'm hearing is he was trying to be a man. He stepped up and was agreed to, be a dad to the 3 kids that he didn't have biologically.
And I didn't ask him to do that because they actually have a good father of their own. But I see what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not downing him whatsoever. I'm just saying.
It just didn't work for you.
apart.
I
Right.
get it. Okay,
We weren't
okay.
the same people anymore.
I get that. Okay, so, all right, so let's just start from the beginning. Where you from?
I'm from Atlanta, baby.
Man,
Grady,
you
baby,
from
all
here? You a
day.
Grady baby?
Baby, all day.
Look at
What's
you.
up?
Hey, look, trying to kick that Atlanta accent in now.
Right, what's
She kicking
up?
that Atlanta
Yeah,
accent in.
I'm from Atlanta, ho. That's right.
ATL.
Fuck with it.
Hey, man, what part of Atlanta you from?
Well, don't even start. I'm really from like all over, but I'm gonna say College Park, okay?
Okay, shout out to the SWATs, man, all day.
Yeah.
All right, so growing up here in Atlanta, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
Yes, I did.
Okay, they were married?
Yes.
Okay, and so brothers and sisters?
I got 5 brothers and sisters.
And so, where are you in the birth order?
I'm the baby girl.
Okay, so, all right, so that's all starting to add up, okay? That's all starting to add up. Okay, so you're the baby girl. How many years apart are you from the closest sibling in age?
Well, I'm 2 years apart from my brother, and I'm 2 years apart from my older sister.
Okay, so you had kids around you when you was, okay, gotcha. Okay, so growing up, would you say you had like a fairly normal childhood?
Yeah.
Good childhood? Did all the normal stuff, ended up going to school, all that stuff,
Yeah.
Graduated.
Yeah.
Any college after that?
I went to hair school.
Okay.
Became a very, very successful hairstylist.
Okay. And so what happened to that?
I got in jail, baby. I lost a lot when I went to jail. You lose clients, you lose everything.
But you can't get them back?
You can, but when I got out, I was just so irked.
Yeah, because everything was like
I
down.
was so irked, so I just was like, let me just start fresh. I had to. And people looking at you sideways when you go to jail, clients as well.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
kind of hard to like go back from being gone for so long. They done found new hairstyles by now.
Well, yeah, okay. It ain't like you was gone for like 9 years or nothing. So
Yeah.
I'll say this. Hold on real quick. I'll say this. Right? Like, to me, I get it, but at least it wasn't like you had like a 9 to 5 where they fired you and now you got to find something else.
I was working for the airport as well, and they did fire me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that job you got fired, and I understand that. But the hairstyles thing,
I mean, I can still do that to
yeah,
this day.
crank back up. So is it a mental block that like kind of stopped you or whatever?
It could be a mental block and just a spiritual block, honestly. I was just like through.
No, I get that. I get that 100%. I'm gonna go ahead and ask because I'm always shocked when I ask this question at the answers that I get sometimes. But when you were younger, did anything like ever happen to you or anything like that?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not that you can remember.
Yeah, when you baby, you don't remember stuff. But
Okay.
as far as my memory
goes. So
nobody ever
okay,
did
so no
anything
like trauma
to
or nothing
me.
like that.
Right.
Okay, all right. And so you got married fairly young. What do you attribute that to?
Religion.
What religion are you?
Well, I'm not a religion anymore, but I was a very strong Christian at that point, and I felt like I actually got pregnant when I was 18, and I was trying to make it right. So I told my baby daddy, marry me so we can make this right. And he did.
I ain't mad at that because you come off like a good girl.
I'm a good girl, but don't fuck with me.
Okay, because like when did you start having sex? Like when did you lose your virginity?
When I was 18.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, so you did the good girl thing
For a long time.
and then when you started doing it, got pregnant shortly thereafter.
Immediately, because I'm fertile. I got twins.
So
Yeah.
don't kiss you because you might have a baby.
You might get a baby.
Like you might
That's
get
right.
pregnant. Okay. So what made you decide to like, or what made you become less religious, or to give up Christianity?
Spiritual awakening that I had. I'm telling you, God literally came to me and told me I wasn't going on the right path. And I'm not telling other people to follow my path. I'm going on the path that I chose for myself, which was to be spiritual, not religious. So that knocked a lot of people out of my lives because religious people judge you.
Well, I tell you what, that is a big old fact. That is a big old fact. But what I've learned is when you're in Rome,
Do as the Romans.
do as the Romans do. Speak the Roman language.
Right.
Like if I'm in Greek, I'm not gonna speak. If I'm in Greece, I'm not gonna speak Spanish.
Right.
I'm gonna speak Greek.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they understand. So
Right. But
even when
not
I'm
a follower.
huh?
I'm not a follower.
It's not a follower. It's just about being able to communicate. So in other words, you have your beliefs.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. Like you have a direct connection with the Most
Source,
High.
yes.
Okay, and so I get that. But it just for me, I've learned to not do it to a point to where I offend people who are religious.
I
Right.
don't be offending people. People are offensive just because.
Just
I
because
speak
you
my
decide to
truth.
not do it.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the part
And
that
I'm all for it. Y'all
they
doing
have
your
to.
thing.
Right. They have to kind of back off of that. So.
Right.
Okay, now let's figure this out. Are both your parents still alive?
My mother just passed. Rest in peace, Mom. She just
Yeah,
passed
no,
on
my condolences
New
about that.
Year's Eve.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's still so fresh.
It's very fresh, but she's in a better place. So I'm happy for her.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, like I said, my sincerest condolences for that.
Thank you.
Dad still living?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm a dad. I'm a daughter dad.
Okay.
Wait.
Good for you.
Wait, hold on. I'm a girl dad. That's what it
Girl
was.
dad.
I'm a girl dad. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking there is not any force on this earth that would ever allow me to be alive and either one of my girls to be homeless.
Yeah.
There's no force on earth that would allow that. Either I'm not alive or they're not homeless.
Yeah.
So what was it that caused you to be homeless for so long and your dad's still living?
I can just say, I want to say that my dad was afraid of the police because they told him that he couldn't help me.
Let me
Or
explain
he would
something.
get in trouble. So
Let me explain something to you. Again,
I don't know what
I mean, because there's no force. There's not a police force. There's not a U.S. Army. There's not a nobody that will stop me from making sure that my daughter, either one of them, Mookie or Kempu, is good to go.
I understand that.
And so, like, when you think about that, and I get it, you feel like, he was maybe afraid of the consequences, but how do you feel about, like, when you think about it at just the raw level?
During the time I was hurt.
How did you feel?
Just hurt.
Like, hurt and,
I felt
like, betrayed or whatever, or like you wasn't
I
being
felt
protected or cared
like
for?
he
Like,
act like he didn't know who I was.
ooh.
Yeah. So, but I have forgiven him since.
Were you like a daddy's girl growing up?
Close to it. I'm more of a daddy's girl now, to be honest. And we've done made up and everything since then, but
What was his, like, explanation or whatever?
I never asked.
Well, do you have that question?
Nope. I don't even want to know.
Okay, well, I ain't mad at that.
I done forgave and forgot.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I would love, if he was right here, I would ask him straight up,
He
like,
might start crying
he might start crying?
because he probably feels bad about it.
I mean, I know I would.
Yeah. He probably
That's-
feels a level of guilt, which I don't even want him to feel because that's my daddy. And I love
get
my
it.
daddy.
Yeah, and we're protective of our
Yeah,
parents. I
feel
get
like
it.
he felt like I should have did it differently.
What was your experience like out here for 5 months
Rough.
being homeless?
Sometimes
Tell
I
me,
slept
detail it.
outside in the rain, in the cold. I had random men coming up to me trying to make me a prostitute. I've been offers to go under a bridge and sleep with them for money. And when you're desperate, you almost be thinking about stuff like that. But
Did you
God
do any of
always-
those things?
I didn't think, because the grace of God, because God always sent somebody in my corner to make sure I was protected. So I was protected out here, but it could have went south. It could have went south.
And so, how did you end up coming up out of homelessness again?
My mother ended up getting sick, and my family wanted me back. And by then, I was done with probation. There was no more warrants over my head.
Right.
So my family was like, "Go back, so we can help Mom." You know what I'm saying? So I was her caregiver before she passed. So I ended up going back to her, and that's how that happened.
This moisture that's welling up in your eyes, what is this about?
I mean, it's just I'm glad I made it out, but it still hurts.
A lot to kind of think about
Yeah,
sometimes.
it is like.
Have you, like, had that moment where you just,
I don't know if I had. Maybe this is the moment. I just did what I had to do. But yeah, I'm just glad I made it out.
I'm going to tell you, like, my dad passed a little over 3 weeks ago. And I cried every day.
Yeah.
But after the funeral, yesterday, when I dropped the kids back off, everybody was gone. Everybody's gone back, out of town, where they came from, everything else. And it was just me in my apartment. And when I tell you, I broke down, I bawled like a baby.
Yeah.
Snot, just
Terrified.
bawling. I mean, audibly, like, out of my mouth, crying.
Yeah. I haven't
And-
had that moment yet. It's
Okay, well, I'm-
bottled up in there, but it's
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it and I can feel it.
I'm not doing it right now on camera.
Well, you're gonna do it whenever
maybe
God.
later.
You're gonna do it whenever God wants you to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
We do things in God's time.
Amen.
All right. So, all right. Well, listen, Miss. This is obviously a very interesting interview. If anybody out there, and we're gonna do a big hug after this, okay?
Okay.
If anybody out there did want to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way for them to do that? Social media, Cash App, anything
Yes,
like that?
I have social media. You can find me on Instagram, LucyFire, at LucyFire, _11. I also have a TikTok at LucyFire11. Facebook is Jewel Goss, JEWEL, last name GOSS. And my Cash App is LucyFire11 as well. So
Okay.
Hit me up.
Well, listen, Miss. You say LucyFire11 is the Cash App.
yes,
Spelled exactly how it sounds.
money sign LucyFire11.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Miss. Like I say, we really appreciate you and definitely wish you nothing but the best out
Thank
here. All right.
you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
All right.
All right.